Curly Phillips was born in Dorset, Ontario in 1884 and grew up on the lakes and rivers of Ontario, where he developed his love for canoeing and was soon guiding fishing parties in the summer and hunting parties in the fall. Phillips also excelled at making canoes, sleds, and snowshoes, often with just an axe and a knife. At the age of 24, Phillips left Ontario to seek his fortune in the West, and in May 1909 found himself in Jasper Forest Park, where he met Reverend George Kinney. Little did he know that within weeks he and Kinney would be within meters of conquering Mount Robson, the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies. While their attempt proved unsuccessful, Curly Phillips quickly established himself as a guide and outfitter in Jasper. Phillips worked for A.O. Wheeler in several expeditions, including the Smithsonian expedition in 1911, and he built the first flying trestle bridge that allowed hikers and horses to travel up to the Valley of Thousand Falls to the foot of Mount Robson for the Alpine Club of Canada camp in 1913. Back in Jasper, Phillips built his corrals and saddlery at the back of town and his home on Geeky Street, across from the Catholic, now Lutheran church. Curly Phillips married Grace Inkster in 1923, and they raised 3 children together. While guiding and outfitting in the summer and trapping the winter paid the bills, Phillips' first love was boat building, and he established himself at Maligne Lake, where he built the boathouse that still stands on the shore. He also built some of the first boats on the lake, including the Lee, which plied the lake for over 50 years. Later in his life, Curly Phillips enjoyed the newly popular pastime of skiing. He pioneered ski trails in the park, and his famous axe work helped build Shangri-La Cabin in the Snow Bowl. On March 22, 1938, Reg Pugh and Curly Phillips were killed in an avalanche near Elysium Pass, and their friends were faced with the sad task of bringing their bodies home on one of the 12 hand-built toboggans Curly Phillips had built. Throughout most of his life, Curly Phillips kept a diary which formed the basis of William Taylor's Tracks Across My Trail. Phillips left a lasting legacy in Jasper National Park, and while it has been over 80 years since his death, it is still possible to see his boathouse and boats, to hike and ski on the trails he cut, and read about his adventurous life. Curly Phillips corrals and saddlery stood where the Jasper-Yellowhead Museum is today, and you can see Curly Phillips' riverboat. It was rescued from a pasture near Hinton, Alberta, where the horses had chewed away on it. Unfortunately, we have been told it is beyond any hope of restoration. For a longer journey, drive up to Maligne Lake to visit Curly Phillips' boathouse, or, if you're lucky enough to book it, stay overnight in the Maligne Lake Ski Club's Shangri-La Cabin. When the museum is open, drop by to learn more about Curly Phillips and see his handmade toboggan and canoe hung up in our gallery.